Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I remain your regular host Agu Joseph. So in today's video, I'll be sharing with you how I was able to achieve the independent flyer design for Nigeria at 65 to be precise. So if this actually sounds like what you're interested in, do it to smash the subscribe button and turn on the post notification bell to get post notification whenever I upload new content like this on my channel. As usual, let's dive into this tutorial. First thing first, I have to click on new file to create a new project. Okay, here we'll be setting our unit of measurement in pixels. We intend to post this design across social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, among others. So we are creating a portrait frame size of design. Okay, 1080 by 1350. You can come over here and give your project a name of your choice. Okay, after that, set the resolution on either 72 or 100 depending on the spec of your system. If your PC is actually of low spec, do well to scale down your resolution to around 72 or 100 to be precise. Okay, but I intend to leave this for 300, and you can set your color mode on RGB. Click on the create button. So we have the canvas, and the first thing I would like to do here is to bring in the resources we'll be using to create the design. All right, here are the resources I'll be using to work on this design. Do well to check the video description. You'll find the link to all of these resources in the video description. So the first thing I would like to work on here has to do with coming up with the background. Okay, so I'll select the background layer, and I'd like to create a gradient color by using this and expanding this by clicking over here. And scrolling down here, I've already created a preset. Okay, on this end of this gradient editor, here's the hex code to the color I'm using, while on this other far end here is the hex code to the color I'm also using as well. Okay, so you can choose to position it that way, and this slider, you can position it around 62 on the slider. That's the position of this on the gradient editor. So I can go ahead, click on the OK button, change the style to radial, enable this, okay, the reverse option, and you can drag and position this around this. And you can also scale up the scale to around this as well to soften it and increase the spread as well, like this. And you can click on OK. That is the first thing I did here. Moving on, I'll have to bring this over here, and the next thing I'd like to do is to enable it. Okay, Ctrl T to transform, holding Alt to scale out, and you can fit this into your canvas seamlessly. The next thing we have to do is to change the blending mode. We have to blend this layer with the gradient background behind it. Okay, so look for a gradient or okay, this works. We use a blending mode that works perfectly well to help us gain part of the gradient back. So we have to scale down this opacity to around this is actually okay. Okay, that is in terms of that. And I can go ahead to add textures. I don't like the way it is as flat as it actually looks, so I can add a texture by hitting Ctrl Shift N to create a new layer, and I'll call this noise. Okay, and I'll change the blending to soft lights, enable the 50% gray, and click on OK. Right click on the layer to convert it to a smart object, and to apply the noise, you head over to filter, head over to noise, and add noise. Okay, I think this noise radius is actually good enough. Okay, let me see, around this is okay, and I can click on this. Okay, so afterwards I'll select this, hold shift, select this, and hit Ctrl G to group this. I can choose to call this BG color. Okay, this is more like a color background. Okay, and the next thing we have to work on has to do with adding more depth or details to the background. So I have this image of the cloud is already converted to a smart object. From this you can see it is already a smart thumbnail. Okay, so I can hit Ctrl T, scale this down, and position one around here like this. Okay, make a duplicate by using Ctrl J, scale this way like this as well, and you're good. Hit Ctrl J, make a duplicate, right click on it and flip horizontally, and you can choose to position this way. Make a duplicate again by hitting Ctrl J, and you can choose to position this around somewhere here like this as well. So moving on, we can select all 4 layers of the cloud and change the blending mode to what? To a blending mode called let me see. Okay, this works perfectly well. Okay, so we need it to be out of focus. That is in terms of this. I can then go ahead to group them, and I can rename this to what? Clouds. This is one of the possible way to keep your layer panel neat and organized, not cloudy or rowdy. So moving on as well, I'd like to enable this image here. To be precise, it's already a smart object. I'd like to scale it down. I need to still add more depth to my background. Okay, I can choose to position it this way like this, and we are good to go. I can go back to the clouds and make some adjustments to some of the positions of the clouds, and we are good to go. Okay, that is in terms of that. So next thing, I would like to add depth to what? This particular stadium icon by using the camera raw. So I head over to camera raw and wait for it to come up. So over here on the camera raw, I'll start with the details, to be precise. I'll add more of textures, okay, sharpening the look. Come over here to details, improve the textures, take it to the top, increase what? Clarities. These are just basic tweaks I make, okay. This is the before and the after of what I've just done. Click on OK, and we have this looking like this. So I can go ahead to add the layer marks. Okay, pick my brush, make sure the flows and opacity are set to 100 respectively, and make sure you are working with a soft round brush. A soft round brush is a brush that has 0% of what? Hardness. Please take note of that. Select this, make sure the foreground is set on black. You can use the square bracket key beside the P button on your keyboard to scale up the size of your brush. I can come over here then to do what? To brush this out. Okay, so I can come here like this and take out these edges this way. Okay, I can just soften them out, those edges. I don't like them to be rough. So you can basically do this as well, and you're good to go. Okay, hit Ctrl T, take this out a little bit like this. Okay, that is in terms of this. So moving on as well, I can still choose to add more depth to this. I'd like to add a solid color. Okay, and for this I'll be using the hex code as follows. Okay, 99C809. okay, that's the hex code to the color. I'll click on OK. Select this max layer here and hit Ctrl I. Ctrl I basically enables you to invert the color of that particular max. Okay, so all I have to do here is to come over here, pick my brush. Instead of using black enables me to hide, okay, and the max layer is already black. For me to reveal some of those colors, I have to set the foreground on white. Okay, so I can come over here, scale up the size, and apply the light around somewhere here like this. Okay, so I can apply it here, make a duplicate of this by hitting Ctrl J of that layer, select the layer, hit Ctrl J to make a duplicate, double click inside it and change the color as well to 05. That's for this, and you can go ahead to click on what? OK. Now after that, you notice that if I turn this off and turn this on, you have this looking so harsh. So I'll select both layers of these colors and do what? Come over here and click on what? Soft light screen, to be precise. Now I've set this on screen, and I would like to do what again? I would like to select both layers and group them. But before doing that, I like to right click and create a clipping mask. Okay, so I want the effect from this to be solely on what? The stadium image. Please take note of that. That is the essence of the clip mask. So that even though I'm applying the brush outside, let me select this, and this is on white. Okay, even though I'm brushing outside, you can't see it here, but it is solely on what? The subject image. Okay, so that is the essence of this. So I can go ahead to select this, hold shift, select this, and group it and call this stadium. Okay, and afterwards we can choose to also reduce the opacity as well. Okay, so please take note that while creating your background should actually serve the purpose it was being created for in the first place. That's why it was called the background. Okay, so you have to scale it up to a good minimum as well. Likewise, I can come back to this cloud as well and make modification. I can choose to reduce the visibility of the cloud as well. Okay, and choose to set it like this. Okay, if this is okay, I'm good to go. So on the final phase, or moving on, I like to add more depth by applying a curve adjustment. So over here we have the highlights, the midtones, and what? The shadows. So me moving this way, I'm adding what? Highlight. Me going this way, I'm adding what? Shadows to what? To my canvas. Okay, so my design will be looking like this. Okay, please take note of that as well. So moving on as well, we would like to enable the illustration or the visual image I intend to use for my foreground. You can see right now it's already a smart object. Okay, you can right click and convert it to what? To a smart object as well. So hit Ctrl T, scale it down a little bit, bring it down like this, and we are good to go. So moving on as well, I'll now need to add more depth to this by heading over to filter and applying the camera raw. So over here on the camera raw, I'll enable the before and after. I would like to play with the exposure by scaling it down. Likewise the contrast. This is more of an eyeballing situation. Please take note of that. There are no rules governing this. You let your eyes guide you through the whole process. Okay, so this as well should be scaled down a little bit as well. Okay, likewise the shadows, we need to add more light to the shadow regions as well. Okay, so the white as well should be scaled down a little bit. Likewise the black. Okay, so we'll head over to textures and increase the textures around this. Okay, you can see the colors, you can see the textures, the clarity can be boosted up to around this as well. Okay, go back to details and improve the details of this image. Okay, and likewise this. Okay, so if you are done adding all of these details, you can then go ahead to click on OK. You can see the before and the after. So click on OK. That is in terms of doing this. So the next thing I would like to do here is to still add more depth to this. Okay, so first thing first, I would like to add the hues and saturation. So I'll click on the clip marks. Now I would like to change the color of this, okay, to the color of what? To the color of the background. So I can set this to around this. Okay, slow and steady to get the actual value. You can also play with the saturation to play with the intensity of what? The colors. Okay, that is in terms of that. So that is in terms of me applying this adjustment. So if this is okay, I'll move to the next phase. You see this is actually clip marks. Okay, so take note of that. This effect should be only on what? The subject. So moving on as well, I would like to apply this green effect only on the clothing, not the whole body of the subject. So I'll come back to where I have this subject image. I'll select my selection tool, the quick selection tool to be precise. Okay, and all I have to do is to make sure that I'm still on this subject image. Okay, and select around the body part of what? The subjects. Okay, so that is in terms of that. Sometimes you might need to zoom in to get most of the details. So I hit Ctrl Plus to zoom in so that I can fix out some places that might be omitted while the selection was going on. Okay, so I can choose to do that. I can come here, add this, I can subtract this. Okay, and subtract this, subtract this, subtract this. Okay, I think this is looking sharper. Okay, so we can come over here as well, look at this end as well, add the selection as well, and we are good to go. I think we're almost done. Okay, I can head over to the balloon here and add around the balloon as well. Okay, make sure the selection is perfect. Okay, so after that, all we had to do is to still come here, make sure that this image is selected properly. Okay, and subtract from any body parts, any selection around the body part, take them out. Okay, so after making the selection, you can come over here, delete this particular hues and saturation we just created, and head over to adjustment and create a new hues and saturation. Increase this, okay, this way, okay, to, let me see, around let me see, slow and steady to get a perfect, okay, feeling. So you can increase the saturation if the color is not strong enough, and you can click on the clip marks. Now you notice something. If I turn off the eyes icon, you can see the effect is solely on the clothing and what? the balloon here, to be precise. So that is my main objective, just to change the color of the clothing. That is in terms of that. I can go ahead to apply a curve adjustment, and over here as well, click on the clip marks. I would like to add more of a highlight and less of what, shadows to this particular image. You can see that the image is more like coming to life as it stands right now. Okay, so that is in terms of this. So the next thing I have to do is to just group this. I'll select this, hold shift, select this, and hit Ctrl G. Rename this to be subjects. Okay, so we are trying to still keep the layers neat and organized. And on the final note, I would like to bring in some other elements such as shapes. Okay, create a rectangle of something like this. Okay, and afterwards you can choose to use the property panel you have over here. Please, if yours is not here, you can basically enable it from the window as well. And over here you can uncheck this and set this to around 50, okay, pixels, 50 pixels. Okay, that is in terms of that. We want to give these ends for some round curve, and pick your move to take this down like this. Okay, so that is in terms of that. So we can come over here and place in this as well. Okay, all you have to do is to hold Control on the keyboard. The mouse pointer changes to this. We'll have this rectangle 1. Left click while holding the control on around this side here like this. Okay, make sure this layer is selected. Pick your move to align horizontally and what, vertically into the shape. Ctrl D to deselect, Ctrl T to transform. You can then hold Alt to scale up from the middle depending on the version of Photoshop you are using. That is in terms of fixing the footer. Okay, I can still make modification to the footer by selecting the rectangle and taking this down like this a little bit, and selecting this group of the subject. Select the group itself and bring this down like this as well. This also works. So I can come over here and bring in the text called Independence Day. So I've created this text. Okay, and I would like to make a duplicate and call this Nigeria. Okay, I'll hit Ctrl T to make it stand out in terms of contrast, in terms of scale. Align it to the middle. Okay, Ctrl D, deselect, select this as well. You can just drag it around if you are good with what, the smart guide. But if you're not good with the smart guide, I hit Ctrl A, pick what, your move to, click on this. It will help you to align that particular layer of text to the center. Okay, so I noticed that the stadium is still taking attention. I can still make some modification in terms of what, taking it out of focus like this. Okay, so that this can stand out. The background should serve as the background. The foreground should be what, visible. Anything having your background should be faded out of focus. So moving on, I can choose to select these 2 layers as it stands right now. Hit Ctrl T, and we are good to go like this. I can still choose to make a duplicate of both layers, take them beneath like this, and I can change the blending mode this way as well. And what else? I can choose to use the move tool and bring this duplicated layer down using my down navigation key. You can see the effects. Okay, let me zoom in. You can see the effect around the edge of what, the text. Okay, while using the down navigation key. Okay, so Ctrl 0, Ctrl plus, we are good to go. What else do I need to add? I need to make another change, or make some additional additions to this design. Sorry for my English. So you can come over here, you can place in any write-up for the brand, and you can go ahead to place in what, the logo mark of the brand over here. Okay, so that is in terms of that. So you can go ahead and group your layers as well. Okay, and you can call this text, and you can call this Ctrl G, select the 2, and you can call this footer. Okay, this is basically me organizing my layers. And on the final note, you can head over here to the filter, apply a color lookup, and select any color lookup of your choice. that you see fit that helps you to do what, to relate the message. Okay, so if you note over here, you will see that I have highlights here, and this is as a result of the clothing I have over here and how the image was being brought in. This side has more of light, so I have to position my light source of my gradient in the first place on this end so that this will serve as light. Likewise, when I apply those light reflection on the flowers as well, so I'm trying to move with the rhythm of the resources as well, or make a tweak where be needed. Okay, so that is in terms of that. So ladies and gentlemen, you've come to the end of this. If you do find this helpful, do it to leave a like on this. If you have any questions, leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Please drop a like on this to support me. Please and please drop a like on this as well, and you can hit the subscribe button if you are new to the channel, and turn on the post notification bell. And for my returning subscribers, thank you guys for always returning as usual. I'll see you in the next.